And we are back. This is the section of the podcast that I think you've grown very fond of.
Yeah, I love it. I actually like it. Very good.
We have done a couple of things in the last couple of episodes and I wanted to do something different. So that is why we have our fabulous guest sitting across from us at the moment is Kevin Hefferan. Kevin, thanks so much for coming on.
Caroline, no problem. Anthony, no problem.
I had a chat with you briefly, literally a couple of weeks ago.
At the railway station.
At the railway station. And I had no idea of the calibre of story or of the life that you lived, and you have only lived around the corner from me I think my whole life.
I've known you all your life.
You've known me all my life.
And your mother
And my mother,
her life.
yeah. So once again, thank you very much, Sandra, for securing the guest.
Yes. Go on, Sandra.
Go on, Sandra. Kevin, why don't you start and tell us why I asked you to come here?
Well, indeed. My story is about 4 years ago, my nephew in America
Yes.
was going to become 40. So his wife
Yes.
contacted me. They live in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Says, I want to make a family tree for him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I says, can you give me your mother and father's details, like their wedding,
Anniversary and...
all the use. I said, my mother and father never married. She said, what do you mean? I said, they never got married.
What?
I says, she said, no, they were never married.
Okay.
She said, oh, that's all, just give me dates when they were born, with this, that, and the other. So I did. She went away. She used to be a researcher in in Edinburgh University in Scotland.
So your mum was a researcher?
No, this girl was married to my
nephew. She was a researcher.
She was an American, yeah.
Okay, an American researcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was her job, so she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
So she went into it, and a week later, she phoned me back. She says, are you sitting down? I said, fine. Says you're the youngest of 11.
The youngest of 11. So hang on, Kevin. So growing up, how many siblings did you have?
I had another sister.
So you grew up with one sister?
I didn't grow up with her at all.
You didn't grow up with her? So you had one sister that you knew of?
I hadn't seen her since I was 2 years old till I was 13 years old.
That's mad. That's a long time to be away from
So I'd say in all my life, she is 65 now. I've known her, if you add up all the days, 2 years.
That's incredible.
Oh.
And was that because, why was that, if you don't mind me asking? Did you live in different houses?
This is another one.
Oh, wow.
We'll go on about the first part about this.
Yeah, we'll get on. We'll keep on track with the story. Yeah. So you were born where?
I was born in Dublin.
You were born in Dublin.
I was born in Loughtonstown Hospital. We lived in St Anne's Square in Blackrock.
Lovely.
Right,
fabulous town, fabulous village.
Yes, with the old Victorian houses. I don't know if you know it.
I do. I worked in Blackrock for 10 years.
You know where they are?
I do.
Actually, do you know where the road runs through? They've knocked out all them small cottages.
Yes.
I was number 6.
I know exactly where you're talking about. Yes, that's incredible. Small world.
That's where all the Hefferan family are from there.
Okay. So this researcher says you have 9. You're the youngest of 11.
Yes, I'm the youngest, and I've 9 brothers and sisters living up in a place called Pomeroy in Tyrone, Northern Ireland.
Okay.
Which is between Cookstown and Omagh.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so that was on, I think it was a Tuesday. And she said, will you be able to take a video call?
Sure.
From one of the nieces. Well, it would be my niece.
Yeah, your niece.
So it's just woman, and it was just me and her, and she started crying because I looked the image of her father who was dead.
Shush. Oh, right? Are you serious?
So she started, and then she said, can you give me 10 minutes? So she hung up, and then she got back to me. Next thing, the whole kitchen was full of people.
Oh my God. So she is turning on the camera and is looking.
These people were looking all along.
Yeah.
Right.
They done a thing in the paper, I think 12 years ago, 14 years ago. Whole double-page spread in the Belfast Telegraph, or one of them papers, looking for me mother, because they didn't know where she was.
So what happened? What happened that your mum left 9 kids?
Well, I didn't know anything until I went up to see them. So on the Tuesday, I was told, on Saturday, I was up there.
You were told Tuesday. You have 10 secret brothers and sisters, and by the Saturday you were with them.
I was there.
What was going through your mind now from Tuesday up until the meeting now?
Myself and the wife Catherine, we stayed up till 3 or 4 o'clock. We're just thinking, what?
What the hell is
I was
happening?
basically reared on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the only one of all of us, all 11, who was with my mother from when I was born to when she died
Your God.
in 1993.
Your mother,
I'm the
year I
only
was born.
one that was always there. None of the others.
So you knew your mum and dad as just
My mum and dad.
your mum and dad.
I never questioned anything.
That's your
why
mum.
would they?
That's your mum peeling the potatoes. That's your mum fucking chastising you for not cleaning your room.
Why would I even question it?
Yeah, of course you wouldn't.
And do you know what never happened, which would have happened to you, Caroline? I don't know about yourself, Anthony, about besides your family.
Yes.
She never said, "Oh, come here, Leo, or come here."
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, she never called me by another name.
She never once
Never once.
mistaken.
I never heard either of them talking about it.
Did your dad know?
This is what we don't. This is the killing issue of the day.
You're
This is
trying
the
to
killing.
figure this out.
My mother, her real name is Mary Agnes
Mary Agnes.
McNamee. That's her maiden name.
Mary Agnes McNamee.
She married Kennedy.
Okay.
So
In the
but when she lived with my father, she was Anne Hefferan.
Anne Hefferan.
They never married, but my father's mother died when he was 3 days old.
Oh, okay.
She went in with yellow jaundice, found him in the bottom of the bed,
Oh my God.
right? And my mother, used her name. No one, she's dead, so she used Anne Hefferan.
She used that name because she was dead. No one.
So why would she know? Why would my father say, "Oh, you can use my mother's name"? Did she tell my father she was running away from her husband? Did she tell my father this, that, and the other? But anyway, when we got there, then I realised the biggest story of why she left.
Okay.
Cookstown is 9 miles from Pomeroy. There used to be a hat factory.
Yes.
They made hats. A lot of them were bowler hats for the presidents.
Okay.
Orange men.
All right. Okay. Here we go. We're getting into the nitty gritty of it now.
So, and hats were popular in the 50s.
Yeah.
So
I am still fond of a hat.
she got on the bike. She used to cycle there to 9 miles. Got in there. The bike was found leaning up against the wall on that day, and she was never seen, heard of, ever again.
You are so she just a normal day.
Normal
Gets
day.
up, gets herself
Yeah.
ready for work.
I don't know what day of the week is. Could have been Thursday. But that Saturday, one of the kids was getting a confirmation of First Communion.
Okay.
Dress was bought, everything done, gone.
And she was gone.
Never heard of her, sight nor sign of her.
Again.
That's why they were looking for her up
So
there.
were they convinced something had happened to her?
They thought she could have fell off the bike. Someone could have
Taken
killed
her?
Taking her,
Yeah.
Anything. Like at that time, who would have run away?
With a
Who would have
woman?
had even run away money?
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who would have?
Who had that fever? Who had that?
I doubt she was ever even on a train. There used to be a train in Cookstown, there isn't now.
Okay.
Who would get on a train, get on a board,
Yeah.
do anything? In 1957, who would have?
Yeah, that's true.
Cars. If
Yeah,
you get hit by a car, you'd be cycling everywhere.
100%. Yeah.
So,
My grandparents were the same. My grandmother cycled everywhere.
yeah. So this happened. So that was it. And
They just could not
didn't
figure
know
out where
where
she
it
went.
was. So I went up there and I asked them all about it. And they told me there was a riot in Pomeroy. There was a man called Lynch.
Okay.
He was a big guy. Before the kind of IRA, well, the IRA was still there, but these were guys who were kind of splinter group away from the IRA.
So these were nearly like a radical
Yeah.
away from IRA.
Yeah, that was
Right.
it. And he was appearing in Pomeroy. Pomeroy is probably the size of Kilcormac.
Right.
Kilcormac is what?
As a one,
3,000 people?
a
4,000?
Kilcormac is a one village
It's a
street.
It's
Yeah.
a street.
It's a village street.
It's probably the size of it.
Okay.
So it's probably 3,000-4,000 people.
That's yeah.
35,000 people turned up for this guy visiting.
Jesus.
Shut up. So this guy was like a big
He's
deal.
not been let out of prison.
Yeah.
So this guy, okay. So this is
in
basically
prison.
like
This guy's still alive?
No, it's well dead.
Well,
Well
dead,
dead.
yeah.
Well
Well
dead.
dead.
This is
Okay.
Be well dead in the
1957.
50s.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
he was in his 30s, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he
So
was,
the biggest thug is coming to town.
yeah, he was their hero.
It's like a western.
Yeah, it is like a country. It's like a cowboy western film.
So he turns up in the village, and the RUC, the police, who of course were all Protestants at the time, and they were there to look after trouble and weren't happy that all the Catholics were having fun.
Yeah, enjoying themselves. God forbid we enjoy something besides unleavened bread.
So there was a bit of a riot went on, and the Irish flag, tricolour, was out in the middle of the road.
Yes.
Who runs out and gets it? Only my mother.
Your mother ran for the tricolour flag.
Picked it up. So it's not long after that, she was either told to leave by one side,
Yeah.
the other side, We told her, if you don't go, we burn your house out, your children, everything else, or...
So because she ran and rescued the Irish flag
she was pointing fingers
from, like, say, being disgraced and trampled on, she's like, I'm picking up my flag. She was basically told, get out of town.
Well, that's what we think.
That's what
Why would she leave?
Why would you leave?
She didn't leave 9 children because she didn't love her children.
No.
Because why would you have 9 of them?
True enough. If you didn't like them, you'd probably stop after maybe child 4.
Did she leave because of the threat, and that if she left, that her family would be left alone?
Or maybe she left because she was wanted somewhere else.
Yes.
Maybe she was so well in that they wanted her somewhere else to do something else.
Yes.
And this is where it even gets worse.
Okay.
So she goes. She's left. She's got on the train.
And she's left Cookstown.
She's gone to Belfast, gone on Larne, Stranraer, or she ends up in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Right?
Birmingham.
In Birmingham, she ends up. That's 1957.
So from overnight, essentially, from the north, and you're in Birmingham then.
She ends up in Birmingham.
Okay.
And she's working in City Hospital on City Road. And my father works in City Hospital. All his family are over there as well.
Oh, wow.
As I say, when his mother died, all his brothers were put into the home.
Of course.
Because they wouldn't let the man...
Back then, like if you were a widowed man, your kids were taken because you were in care. Yeah.
So they still had to work.
Yeah.
So him and his brother, who's only 2, were reared by my granny's sister.
Okay.
And his mother's.
That's so Irish, isn't it? To be reared by an aunt or something else.
Well, he was so young. He was only born. He was 2 years old.
Yeah.
He was so small, they kept him in a shoebox on top of the range.
Ah, stop it. Could you imagine? It's just a little thing.
Just to keep him warm.
Oh, bless.
And the boys used to come in and they used to put them under the coat to keep them warm.
Oh, my God.
So, that's where Anne ended up there. So she ended up in Birmingham. So when they all became 16, my father's father was in Birmingham.
Okay.
I brought them all over.
Right.
Put them in the army, got them jobs. There's any amount of work.
Fair play,
Any amount, in the 50s, any amount of work.
Especially in the army.
Someone went to the army, they went on the buses. There was plenty of work in Birmingham. Because car industry was big. So that's how he was. City Road, he worked in a hospital. There's 2 of them. There's a hospital and the mental hospital is beside it.
Okay.
He worked in that as a porter.
Okay.
That's where he met my mother. So it must have been 58.
So was your mum also a porter, a healthcare assistant, a nurse?
No, she worked something like a nurse. I'd done something.
Something similar. Okay.
I don't know exactly what, but she was in the hospital then. They met up, must have been 58.
Fell in love.
I don't know.
You're like a seaman.
I don't know. But as she was 38.
So she's 38 in Birmingham.
And he's 19.
Okay, so that's like a whole...
That is a generation.
That's a whole generation in between.
That's like going out with your mother.
It is going out with your mother, essentially.
Maybe he looked at the mother.
Maybe. That's maybe...
Not having a mother.
No, they always say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I'm looking at that picture. Kevin has for audio listeners, YouTube watchers will definitely see, Kevin has a beautiful picture of his mum and dad. We'll link the picture
in the post. That's in Hyde Park in London.
In London?
Because they moved a lot.
Oh, so I wonder why. Did your mum always have to move?
This is what we're saying. So they went to London, and then my sister was born in Chelsea in 1960.
So your sister was born first?
In Chelsea, 1960.
Okay.
So when she went in, men didn't go in when women were having children then.
You just waited outside?
You were lucky to be in the hospital.
Told the child was born.
Go away in the pub somewhere, Go away in the pub.
When my own children were born, I wasn't near the hospital, and that's not that long ago. It's 44 years ago.
Things have definitely changed.
Jesus.
Now it's commonplace.
Yeah, commonplace.
But on my sister's birth certificate, she has Mary Agnes
Hefferan.
McNamee.
Okay, so your dad was a Hefferan.
Dad was a Hefferan, but her father never married.
But she went by Hefferan.
She went by Hefferan.
But she kept her name as her name.
She had to in England because she would be registered under British because she's from Northern Ireland.
Right.
And she couldn't have gone in and said, this is my first child.
Yes. True, because they were like, well, that's a big fat lie because you have a whole gaggle.
The child could have been clinging on by its nails at this stage.
100%.
She couldn't say, oh, So she had to put her proper name on it. So my sister's birth certificate has her proper name on it.
And does she still go by that name, your sister?
No, my mother put the proper name on it. She went by Hefferan.
Yeah.
My sister is called Hefferan.
But she's always went by, but on her birth cert it says McNamee.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 1962, I was born.
Okay.
But she was in Dublin at this stage.
So they've gone from Chelsea to Dublin.
Yes.
Wow. So we've gone Birmingham, London, Chelsea, Dublin.
The reason she went to Dublin for me is she wanted me born in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? This is how Republican she is. My birth name is Kevin Barry.
Kevin Barry.
My father always said, we had no choice. The minute you were born, she says, he's Kevin Barry.
Kevin Barry.
My brother's names is Pierce,
Yes.
Plunkett,
Oh, Jesus.
and he's Republican.
Yeah.
She really went
My
for it.
sister's brother was shot in Kilmainham.
Right.
Sister's brother
My mother's brother was shot in Kilmainham.
was shot in Kilmainham for
He
what?
joined the British Army
Okay.
and then deserted very
Very
long
fucking
after,
sharpish.
Yeah.
just to know where all the guns were so he could smuggle them into Ireland.
So he was a
That's how
plant.
He was picked up. And
He was picked up as a plant and he was executed.
now I've known none of this till 4 years ago.
So you're just living your life,
living- my
minding
father-
your own business.
My father always told me she had a big involvement in the cause, but he never told me any detail. Did he know? I don't know.
Yes.
But when I was born here, 1962, was born in St Anne Square, and Loughlinstown Hospital. 2 years later, my father used to work in the post office in Blackrock.
No way.
Right. And all his cousins,
Yes.
it's like O'Malley Street, like Arndale, everyone's related to everyone,
Sure.
right? They all worked there. My father would be more of a follower than a leader. He would have been a lot older than him. And that time they used to send the money from America, the dollars.
The dollar.
Boys used to steam open the envelopes, take out $1.
Right.
Oh,
You do that to 10 envelopes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got $10.
Yeah, and back then, yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
look, remember? Do you remember the gambling story?
Yeah.
They won £38, and we were like, "That's millions in this and today's money."
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We
yeah.
can't do maths.
Yeah.
That's
So-
nuts.
They knew the police, the guards were out looking for them. People
Okay.
that had done this.
So that the people were they were aware money was going missing, money was being
And
littered.
they knew he was going to get raided.
Yeah.
Okay.
My father used to get hemorrhages from high blood pressure.
Oh,
Right?
Nosebleeds and
So
stuff.
went down Dunleary Pier, bled into his clothes, left his clothes,
smart.
and got on the
Effect
boat
off.
and fucked up.
Smart.
That is fucking genius.
Yeah. Smart.
Right?
Oh my god, he faked his own death and left.
Faked his own death.
Your family's all
The only one
spies.
that knew about it was my mother.
Yeah.
Shut.
She's not gonna
worn,
Well, she's not going to fucking open her mouth. She's got a secret or two of her own.
worn black, the whole lot. But me woman that raped me mother, raped me father, never knew and died not knowing.
Ah, Jesus.
Is just
And that
batshit.
killed that woman.
Oh, yeah.
And my mother still never. That's how secretive this woman was.
Yeah.
She had kept secrets all her life.
Like, I can't imagine. I don't have any children. You don't have any children.
No, not that I know.
Not that I know of. Maybe from that one.
Not
That
that I
one.
know of.
Woman
that
never
gets-
says that. Only men say that.
Yeah, that I know of.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of. But I have a niece. And I would lie down in the road for her.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine how much pressure your mother had to have been under in that moment to literally get on her bike that morning knowing that she would probably never see any of her children
Exactly.
again.
That's fucking heartbreaking.
That's
Exactly.
heartbreaking.
That's a strong woman. Like.
That's a very strong one.
Listen to the. It
Yeah, yeah.
gets better.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Right? So he's bled into his clothes, he's got on the boat, gone to England. This is 1964.
Sure.
I was 2 years old. The only one knows he's dead, or isn't dead, is my mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So she says to the woman who raped my father, she says, Nellie, I have to go to England. There's nothing here for me now.
Okay.
You know. She says, I had a sister who's 2 years older than me. She says, oh, she's in school, she was 4 or whatever. Leave her here, it'd be easier
to-
for you to handle the child
Yes.
on your own, go over.
No point uprooting her and whatever.
You get settled and then we can
follow.
sort something out. So my mother goes over, oh, well, my father's over there. So he's in London, goes down to London, and they meet up. So it brings me, leaves my sister there. And they live in a place called Dorking in Surrey.
Okay.
Dorking is 6 miles from Guildford,
Okay.
where the Guildford bombings were.
Jesus fucking Christ, yeah.
And it's about 9 miles from Aldershot.
This is starting to get a bit suspicious.
There, right? 3 days after the Guildford bombings, we were back in Ireland.
Shut
My father had a job in the buses.
up.
My mother had 2 jobs. 3 days after the bombings, we were in Ireland. Living in a place called Horseleap.
I know it, yeah.
Horseleap, we lived in Kilmalady, which is the middle of fucking nowhere. Used to be an old railway house. There was no water in it, no electricity, no toilet. And we lived in that house for 2 fucking years.
How did you manage?
We used to have to go across to a farm to get water. We built a toilet.
You built a toilet.
Built a toilet. Whatever was left, we did a
That's it to
bucket.
make
That
me
was used to grow the spuds. So,
You had a proper fucking hardship life. Oh my God.
and this is the you would not find this place anyway. And you couldn't find it.
Oh, you couldn't find it on a map unless you knew where it was.
Unless you knew that lane goes nowhere, only down to Clarabog.
Yes.
That's where we lived. 3 days after the Guildford bombings, we were gone. My mother used to write to the boys, Guildford 4, Birmingham 6,
She wrote to all of them in
write
prison.
to them in Irish,
Oh, squilga.
because then the guards couldn't read the stuff, right?
Oh my God. I am low-key obsessed with her.
And done all that. My father only told this to me when she died. I was in my 30s.
Your mum has gone to her grave with all of this, and then your dad's super quick, Kev. By the way,
Yes.
I can't imagine that conversation. What was that like?
And this was the day she died.
Not only is your mother dead, but I think she could have been involved in the Guildford
And I
bombings.
says, why didn't you tell me all this? She says, oh, we didn't want to get you involved. I said,
He was
I'm
right.
in my 30s.
He's right. You're his. It doesn't matter.
He didn't want me to question her.
He probably also didn't want you
But my mother
involved.
couldn't speak for the last 6 years of her life. She got a stroke 1977, I think it was. We moved from Horseleap to Tullamore. Lived out there, the top of Dillon Street.
Yeah.
There's a house on the right-hand side, top of Dillon Street.
Yes, I know it.
There used to be pigsties out the back, little sheds. That's where the toilet was. I didn't live in a house with an indoor toilet until I got married.
You are codding me.
Yeah.
Anthony,
When did you get married?
When did you
I
get
got
married?
married in 1980.
1980. Is that? Oh wow.
I was a month 18.
A month 18, and you were like, "What's the first thing I'm going to do? It's either army or get married." Marriage it is.
I would as well.
Both of them very similar. There's that one arm combat and both.
Marriage is very like being in the army, except it's more violent.
So we came over to there, and we lived in Horseleap, and we just lived away until she died in 93. I say she got the stroke, then she had gangrene,
Yeah,
she got diabetes.
that happened to my granddad.
Woman used to come and cut her nails, and they cut under her nail, lost half her foot, then it was up to her knee, and she couldn't speak, of course, at the end, so
She couldn't
there was
tell
no
you.
communication if you wanted to tell them.
Even if
But we used to go up to the north in the 70s. That time you could go up to Newry and Enniskillen.
And
There
you're a stone's
used to be
throw
buses going all over. 30, 40 buses would go up there
a day.
during the Troubles. Even when the Troubles is on, you go through the checkpoints.
All of them.
I never heard them on say, we'll go to Cookstown and see your family. Will we go?
Mom, we go see all your brothers and sisters.
Never a word of it.
No.
Never a word.
I can't imagine how she could have just dealt with all of this. And see, I can't hold my piss.
Yeah.
They're like, will you do the Guildford bombings? And I'd be like, yeah. And then we would be sitting here and I'd be like, Anthony, guess what I'm doing?
Yeah, I think.
And then you're like, don't tell me.
I think that's the problem.
That's my problem. That's why I was never asked.
That's the problem nowadays. People kind of can't keep a secret. People
That's the
can't say
thing,
nothing
and
as well.
Off the back of Say Nothing, the series, that was the whole phrase, say nothing. Keep your mouth
And look what they went
shut.
through and did say nothing.
And this is what it was. When the Belfast project came out after the last of the Prices died, Marion and Dollar's Price, Brendan Hughes died first. This is now being spoken about, and you even said to me just before we started, you said when you watched that, you said, wow, that kind of seems nearly not too far off what we imagined.
Well, I didn't think the women had as much
of a say.
Yes, that they were more, as much. I thought they were more, as the women said, you can use it for making the tea or
we'll do the driving. We will run the ship. You just drive it.
I didn't know they would have had as much, and especially in the 1950s when women had no power.
You had no power. You had no power. You weren't allowed to vote. You weren't allowed to go to the bank. You could not. You could not cash a check.
In your own home, you probably weren't even your boss.
Yeah.
Very, very, very true.
But as I said, when I went up to see the boys, I say it happened on the Tuesday. I went up on the Saturday. Driving up along, went down. The boys live in the same house.
Are they all boys?
No, there's 3 girls.
Right.
Yes, there's 3 girls.
Okay.
And 6 boys.
Gorgeous. Okay, so 3 girls, 6 boys.
So going down to the house, there's still Derry Hash. So there's 6 houses. They're identical Dormalise 3 houses.
Yes.
Identical. They were all built in the 1930s.
Yes.
They lived in, and my brother owns the house.
Oh, wow.
Their mother and father were in.
Okay.
So pulling up, I said to Catherine, I says, if I go in here and I don't feel any bond,
I'll know.
We'll be gone in an hour.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know these people, they were in their 70s.
Yeah.
So these people, Jesus, I keep forgetting, it's like when you meet them, they're in their 70s and their 80s, they're not even your age.
No.
They're not even,
Nothing in common.
common. What? So tell me.
None of them sitting there with Motorhead t-shirts on like I am. You know what I mean? There's none of them sitting.
There's no one
with
sitting there with
their
their
pierced and
tattoos.
No.
Nothing.
They're old men.
We're interested in the story. We're going to cut to a break.
Lovely.
Cut to a break just for like that as well. We're going to be coming back now in just a few seconds.
We'll take a little break here just to change over.
Yeah, and we're going to get back in and we're going to get more into the story now as well.
Because we're only lifting the lid off this. We're only lifting the lid off this. Perfect.
Right, you say in a second.
Okay, we're back. We just had a little short break there, but we were just really getting into it there.
Yeah.
Kevin, the last time we left off there, we were talking about
just you meeting
your family for the first time.
Yeah.
So when they went up, there was to meet the family. As I said, when I was driving up, I said to my wife, we go in here and we don't feel any bond, I'll be on in an hour.
Okay.
I said, they're old men. What do I
want with a bunch of old friends?
with them.
Yeah.
And I can only answer whatever questions they want to answer.
Yeah.
But really all they wanted to know, and I went in and there was 3 of my brothers.
Where did you meet them?
Meet them in their original family home.
Oh, wow.
My brother bought that house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the original family home in Derry Hash up in Pomeroy.
Yes.
Went in, there was 3 brothers there. 3 brothers and my sister. And one of my nieces. But they just let me talk to the boys and my sister. They said, look, they're strange kind of people. They're this, that, and the other.
Whatever.
So I went in and sat down and I shook hands with them all. And it was as if I'd known them all my life.
Stop it.
You got an instant
You immediately were like...
all my life.
Isn't that
and how can you explain?
I can't explain it.
Did you just feel like when you shook hands, you were like, I know you. We've been here before, and I've been waiting.
I felt so much in the right place.
Oh, finally,
and
I'm
I was
here.
Sitting there thinking, my mother lived in this house.
Yeah.
So before you were even a twinkle in her eye.
Even a twinkle. Like 1957, she.
Before you were even a twinkle in her eye, she had an entire life in this home with all of these people.
Yeah.
And you walk into their home, you're the missing piece they've been looking for
and all they
years.
really wanted to know, they didn't want to know really much, they only wanted to know,
did she die? Was she okay?
Where was she buried? They wanted to see the grave, what happened, and all. They didn't, because they didn't know where she was.
Yeah.
If you like, and
up to the minute I walked through that, minute our niece,
your
nephew's wife
reached out,
they had not a clue.
That they didn't know. So
not a clue.
When you shook their hands and you were looking at them, was it like looking in the mirror? Was there
one of them is exactly, you might as well say, we're twins.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
And how was that? Like that?
We were in Cookstown. They have a market in Cookstown, and there's a guy that sells socks and jocks.
Nice.
Socks and jocks.
Socks and jocks. You up the biz?
My father done it for 40 years in the market in Clara. And I went in, and my brother Leo was standing one end, I was standing the other, and the man says, You look very much like brothers. Theo says, that's because we are brothers.
Hey, woo, yeah.
What was that like? That must have been like, you're like, that's my brother.
That's probably
That's
weird.
never happened to you. You've always just had your sister. That's my brother.
To be.
Yeah.
And it's mad because I don't want the ones I
Good
have.
feeling, I imagine. Good, Jesus.
Sorry, lads.
That's probably a really good feeling in his family here. Yeah.
And do you still, like, do you guys still have a relationship? Do you see each other often? Do you speak
We're
often?
up there every 6 weeks.
Shut up! And you have this...
6 weeks we're up there.
Jesus.
I go up and get a bed and breakfast for £60 a night.
Yeah.
I stay 2 nights and we go and visit them.
Oh, that's so... And I'd say they're just so happy
It's a lot of catching up to do.
A lot of catching up to do.
Shoot, I said to him, we talked about my mother, we talked about this, that, and the other. One of the brothers didn't want to say. He lives 2 doors away.
Shut up.
Only 6 houses in a row.
Yeah.
He lives in the first house.
And he didn't want to know.
He says he wasn't interested because he was the one to see my mother going. The day she left.
The tram.
She was about 8 years old, I think. Yeah. He followed her on the bike. She was telling her to get back.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God, yeah.
He had no interest. I had another brother. He had cancer at the time. He was getting cancer treatment.
Okay.
He didn't want to meet us because he didn't want to get infection.
Of course, because during chemotherapy, you're highly susceptible to infection.
So there's actually 2 brothers.
Okay.
2 brothers, Leo and Sean. Sean is the eldest who's alive now.
Yeah.
He's 83 now. But my eldest brother was Pierce. My eldest brother was born in 1939.
Jesus.
And what did I tell you earlier on? My father was born in 1939.
So your brother was the same age.
Hold on.
So your older brother was the same age as your dad.
Yes.
That make sense?
Mad.
That is mental.
Mad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You're like, because you can literally turn around to this man and say you're old enough to be my dad. Literally, because you are the same age as my dad.
Yeah.
And did your dad passed away a couple of years ago?
My father died in 2011 or 2010.
Yeah.
Right.
And so whether he knew or whether he didn't,
He never told me.
he went to his grave with it, and you found out after. So after the fact, this is your parents, and after the fact, so your mum and dad are probably together wherever they're together.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And you had to figure out all of that on your own. Do you know what I mean?
But I wasn't interested.
No, I know. It just happened. It happened upon you, is what I'm saying.
I said, sure, this is my life, and it's always going to be.
Never kind of.
I never thought there'd be anything else.
That's
like your mum turning around and saying, Anthony, you have 5 brothers and sisters.
Well, my ma only a few years ago found out she had all that as well.
You are kidding.
Yeah, as well.
What happened to your mum?
Well, we could maybe say another day or so. Kind of like that and all, but kind of American situation then as well,
The Americans are mad for a family tree, aren't they?
Oh, jeez.
That's because we fucking built that place.
Stuff that we did. We built that place.
They're like, we want to know where our family is. We're like, Grant, come to Ireland because we all fucking built it.
Yeah, we don't.
Here's another good one. Here's another one. This is another spanner in the works.
Oh, lovely.
My sister was there. My sister from up there in Northern Ireland.
Your Northern Irish sister.
It's called Pauline.
Pauline.
Right?
Hello, Pauline.
My sister that I know of is called Pauline.
So you...
So how the fuck does someone name
2 kids
children the same name?
She was like, do you know what? Pauline was nice. We'll do it again.
No, I'd say my father had to say in her name, but she couldn't say anything.
You're like,
oh, shit.
She's like, no, we already have a Pauline. She's like, oh, no, wait, I have a Pauline.
Yeah, couldn't say it. Couldn't say it. So what's the chances that? And then every time you say the whole, your mother would be thinking of her other child. Fucking hell.
She chose my name in Kevin Barry for the reason she chose it, but my father must have had to say in
Pauline's name.
Being his first child, obviously.
Of course.
And he must have said some relationship to his family. So I don't know if there is a Pauline. Pauline Rosemary is her name. So. But up there's another Pauline. 2 of them called the same name.
That's mad.
That is incredible. That's like, have you guys ever heard of the red string theory?
No.
So it is a phenomenon and a theory that you were always supposed to find your brothers and sisters because you were secretly attached. It's like, I think it's like I'm going to butcher this. I think it's like an Asian kind of concept that where it was written, and that you were all connected. You were always going to be connected to the people that you were meant to be connected to. And like that, you could be up the north, a stone's throw away from your brothers and sisters because you liked going there, but it was not the time for you guys to meet. And as your life goes on, the red string gets shorter and shorter and shorter until the two of you finally meet. And that's kind of like when I listen to this, I think of all the times you could have found out or bumped into a man who looks exactly like you, just walking down the street. But you met him when you were supposed to meet. That is mad.
And what I said to them, we discussed things, we thought of it, and I said, the saddest point is, we have wasted 60 years of our lives.
When we could have...
I was 60 when I met them.
Yeah.
There's 60 years of our lives wasted.
When we could have
over
been together.
people that didn't want to tell us the truth.
How does that make you feel? Were you mad?
It made me... With my father, I thought, you could have told me. Like, she died in 93, he didn't die
till
2010. If he knew anything, tell me. But did he know?
Maybe she asked him, maybe she got him the promise not to
tell you.
You know, and he had to keep that promise.
If she was willing, I'm just going to throw it out there, if she was willing to walk away from 9 kids in a house and start again, why would she just blab it to the next child that came along? Because I do believe that as hurt and as painful as it was for your siblings, your mum made that choice for their good, and that's hard to see. It's easy for me to say it because I'm not in it and I'm on the outside looking in.
And the way they were in that time, their father Kennedy used to work, he used to deliver milk. And he used to leave off the van and he'd walk back to his house, past all the shops, did Pomeroy say 3,000 people, maybe less, down to the house, get the kids to go to the shop. He was so embarrassed to go into the shop. What were they going to ask him? Where's Mary Agnes? Where has she gone? Did you hear anything?
Did you hear anything?
He wouldn't go into it. He died in 1966. Got hit by I think he fell off his bike or got hit by a car.
So he died in an accident?
He died in 1966.
Died not knowing where she was as well. And I
always said to my father, I said, when did you have it? Because we had hundreds and hundreds of pictures when we were young.
Of course.
Father used to have a box brownie camera. You look through the top of it, take the picture. Pictures come out that size.
Yes.
And you used to get slides that you put in, see them up in the wall.
And do like a slideshow. Yeah. Patty and Selma style.
Take hundreds of pictures. Never a picture of them married. And I said, when did you get married? He said, the 1st of January. I said,
New Year's Day?
That'll be a bank holiday.
Probably a bank holiday.
He says, who was your brother? Just 2 people off the street.
So she just...
And that's all that was ever said to me.
And you were like, okay, Mum, I'm going to school now. Bye. Like, that was it. Like, you didn't question your mum.
Never. And then my sister, Pauline, Free State Pauline.
Free State Pauline. That's what I'm calling her, Free State Pauline.
She phoned me one day. Now we don't get on at all.
Okay.
And that's because we never read together.
Look, it is what it is. You can't get on with everybody.
So she phoned one day and says, was crying. I said, what's wrong? Says, did you know my mother and father weren't married?
You were like,
and I says,
yes.
I didn't, but I had a good idea. And these were dead. My mother was dead at this stage, well dead.
They have a tangled web long after they've left.
But she wanted an English passport because she's born in Chelsea, right? So she has an Irish one as well, but she wanted an English one too. At that time it was getting stricter after 9/11.
Of course, trying to get passports.
And you had to get way back.
Sure.
Your mother and father and loads of different eye bleeding things and fingerprints and whatever. And she said, they were never married. And I said, yeah, I have a feeling. She says, but we're bastards. I says,
You're like, that's what you're upset about? Cold words.
I wouldn't worry about that. She was so upset about it. I was laughing.
We were born out of wedlock.
I said, what's the difference? Woman's dead years. What difference does it make now?
That they weren't married.
What difference does it make? So.
And what did she think about when she found?
She found out, and she went up. Now, it felt wrong for me to say anything because I don't know because we don't speak to each other.
You don't want to tell her experience.
Exactly, I think that's respectful.
That's very respectful.
But I know now, she went up there once when my sister her sister Pauline was 70.
Up the rabble.
Right? She was 70. She went there. But after that, she said she didn't want anything to do with any of them.
That's okay.
And that's it because of my mother, because my mother left her as well.
Yeah.
Remember, left her in Dublin?
Yeah.
She always had that chip on her shoulder.
Yeah.
And I can understand it. Look,
You would have a chip on your shoulder 100%
she always
if you were
says
what?
to me, I was the golden boy, I got this, that and the other. I don't know what I got. I got a house with no hot water, no fucking...
No jazz.
You got to stay
and
with them.
spuds that were made with fucking human shite.
I think it's the fact that you got to stay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the fact. It was the resentment of
That's it. And she has 8 children of her own, can't understand why this woman gave up this. You know, none of us can understand.
No.
You'll never, and you know what? The chances are you probably will never fully understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to a woman that does
Readings,
Yeah.
psychic readings.
and she's supposed to be out of this world.
Can I ask
Multi-farming.
Can I ask who she is?
I don't know who she is.
Where is she?
Angela, multi-farming.
Multi-farm. No, I know another one that's really, really
I
good. I was
know
wondering was the same.
friends of mine that have gone, and she's come up with some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing stuff. So I'm hoping she goes up.
She-
If she knows my mother's 2 names, I'd say.
Right. Okay. Well, then you go. But you know what? If she does, bring her back, and we'll do a part 2.
That'd probably
We get a Ouija board and get your mum to come down, and we get her to tell her side.
Yeah.
Kevin, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So this has been your life, and now you are. How old are you now, Kevin?
I am 63 in October.
You are 63. Kevin is also a fellow comedian.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
I've seen him before. Funny.
Yeah, very good. And for anybody who wants to see Kevin, Kevin is playing in Columbia Bar on the
30th
of
May.
So Kevin will be in Columbia Bar on the 30th of May, doing some of his stand-up stylings. Go down and catch him.
I'll be watching.
Yes, we're
Definitely.
all very different with my comedy and your comedy.
Yeah.
Everybody's-
It's a generation.
Oh,
Yeah,
come here.
yeah,
Me and
that's
Kevin,
what it is.
when the podcast first came out, and he was like, "Oh, I liked it. Didn't think it would be for my generation, though." And I was like, "That's okay, Kev."
Yeah.
But he always gave always unleveled support. But
My
There's-
jokes are
there's-
one-liners. It's just...
but that was like when you think of like the likes of Alex J. Byrne.
Yeah.
Alex J. Byrne was highly inspired by Tommy Cooper. He got his granddad had VHS tapes of Tommy Cooper, and that was his comedy. And that's like, and you can see that in his styling.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
So whoever can I ask who are your comedy heroes? Who are the guys you would have looked up to?
Well, I learned a lot of me, so I had a record with Brenda Grace.
Brenda
It was
Grace.
1978 probably.
One of the greats.
And played it
Until it
played
was-
And he was doing his butler character,
Yeah.
if people remember,
Yes.
the Dublin schoolboy character.
Yes.
And I just copied that, and I done talent contests, doing his voice, doing some of his routines, like the
Yes.
wedding and...
You were doing your impersonations.
Then I do my own jokes and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
In it, but I use his voice. And
That
that was it for years. And then I used to go around with Ricey Scully, if you remember Ricey. No?
Yes, Ricey Scully.
On the radio.
Yes,
For a long
I
time.
do.
He used to have a show band.
Yes.
They used to do backup for a lot of the talent contests. I
course.
do the music, people get up and sing.
I see.
The only comedian was me. They get off the stage, I'd be up there.
They'd get a cigarette and a pint.
They do whatever
Like,
they
thank
want.
God Kevin's on.
So they said, when it was over and they were doing gigs, they said, will you come and give us a break for 20 minutes?
Oh, I love
They
that.
went to, remember going to Liston-Varna for the whole week.
Liston-Varna, down to the
whole
matchmaking
week
festival.
For the festival.
Oh, the matchmaking festival.
And then this
Whopper.
agent came up to me, Jewish guy, London fella, see me one night, gave me a card, said, if you want to come to London,
Give me a shout.
come over. Said, I'm crying out for comedians. Says, come over. 6 months later, I found the card going through my jacket. I go down to the phone box. It was down by the guards barracks.
Oh my God, he finds a phone card. You can't even put your hand in your pocket to call him out of your phone. You have to go down the road.
That's been through all, man.
Oh my God.
Him up. He says, if you can get over, he says, I can give you work.
Oh wow.
I went over in 1982. I went over, went into his office. He was a Jewish guy, which most agents were at the time. And he says,
Comedy
oh
trope.
yes, I can give you all working men's clubs up in Carlisle, Newcastle, Sunderland, all these different clubs, pubs, whatever. He says, how's 150? I said, for the week? I said, fuck, that's so much. I was getting £63 a week working.
Jesus.
And he turned around and said, I'll give you 150 per 350
Nice.
pound a week.
I said, that's great money. He says, that's all right per night.
Per night?
I said, I just said nothing.
You were like, yes, I
said, I have to get out this door before I jump up the fucking door.
Yeah.
Before I fucking dig myself into a hole.
Give me accommodation. No, accommodation, I use that term loosely.
Yeah, what was
There was a toilet in the end.
Was there a toilet?
Good,
That's the
grand.
only place. First time I was in it.
Did you throw a party the first time you
Like
took a shit
he had
inside?
all these places, because it was just constant circle of, and he had so many comedians and bands and different, and you done all them things. You went up, I mean, rough places. I mean, you go to Workmen's Club, could be 1,000 people in there. Could be a mining place. It could be 10,000 people working in this place, or a big factory making cars or whatever. They'd have their own social clubs.
Of course, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All the guys are there with the wives on the Saturday night, and they're all in there the Sunday mornings, all drunk, sobering up. They didn't want to see me, they wanted to see the stripper and a fella playing the guitar.
And you didn't want to take off your clothes or saying?
No. So everything I worked at, where most of you're not saying this is anything wrong, you have comedy clubs. People are going to look at comedy.
Yeah, people are actually
People
going
want to
out.
come and see me. So if I can make them laugh, you knew you were winning.
Yeah.
And I had the material that can make them laugh. Because you're telling the mother-in-law jokes, the wife jokes, kids jokes, about what they understand.
You're keeping it relative.
I know exactly what you're on about.
That's what comedy is, really.
I want to ask as well, like I'm looking at your dad there now as well, right? Would your dad be a funny guy? Was he a funny guy?
No, he thought he was.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah. Proper dad humour.
Always come and tell me jokes constantly.
Yeah, and you were like, shut up.
Did you hear this?
Here, did you hear this one?
A joke that was that size ended up that size.
Yeah.
Jesus, right. Drag out the
We're a bit of a fan of dragging a story out, Anthony, apparently.
And I remember I worked with Brenda Carroll.
No way.
Embankment in Tala.
Yeah.
It's gone now. Used to be a huge pub. And they used to do take a pick in it. You ever hear take a pick?
No.
You go in, you have 20 balloons.
Okay.
You go in the balloons there's an envelope.
Okay.
And the prize could be a toilet roll, washing machine.
Oh,
Microwave.
wow. It's a potluck.
So you sell raffle tickets. People who drew out, come up, burst the balloon.
And win a prize.
So he was brilliant in the banter with the crowd, all this.
Yeah.
And they had acts on, fella get up and sing or do whatever they do, or juggler.
Entertain.
And I get up and do a few jokes. All this stuff. Done Brendan Grace's pub down there on the Long Mile Road.
Amazing.
Remember Grace's place?
Yes.
He used to have a pub down across from Goff's. Used to go in there, do stuff, all different things. But I'd say there was no comedy clubs that time. You couldn't go.
No, you did.
And people saying, "I want to see a bit of comedy. I'll go and see this."
Yeah, I'll go to this place because I know they play comedy.
Yeah.
You're just in a pub and then a fella just stands up and tells jokes.
That's it. So you have to get them to turn around for a start.
Oh yeah, get that attention, yeah.
You play in the band, you singer, play in the band.
Music will get your attention. Yeah.
If you're good, bad or indifferent.
Yeah, true.
You know as a comedian, you have to hold them.
Yeah.
You have to get them to laugh constantly.
Yeah.
You have to
If
engage.
you lose them, you've lost them. You can't get them back.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But then when I started to do, then I done all the effing and blinding and the jokes that people want to hear. If you go into a pub and you tell a joke, 6 guys together at a wedding, a golf club thing, whatever, they're telling a quick one-liner joke, something funny. Well, the modern comedians, younger people, they have a monologue. You couldn't go in and tell a one-off joke.
No.
Because I had that pub life from when I was 16, sitting in pubs, of banter, sneer and jeer. We bank holiday Mondays, like today, we used to sit in a pub for 8-9 hours, 20 of us just
Joking.
But I think that's.
You can't go in and do a monologue of jokes.
No, you can't.
People
Everybody be.
never shut up.
Yeah, we should get
Shut up, will you?
I'll try,
Oh, he's off and on again.
I'll try and be technically funny.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what it is. At the end of the day, at the heart of comedy, comedy is intelligence. Comedy is intelligence having fun, and it's having a laugh, and it's about joking. What I personally like joking about is the stuff that people won't joke about because it's the stuff that nobody will talk about when I'm dealing with it. Like when I'm joking about mental health or anything like that. That's my story. But everybody, you have your own material and your own kind of sets, and your jokes are a lot quicker than mine. but that's your style. Do you know, that sort of a way?
Everybody has a different style.
It's incredible to watch the evolution of like that, the one-liners, and like that you look at the likes of even Tommy Turner.
I only started writing one-liners. I couldn't do it.
Writing a one-liner is hard.
But now I'm trying to do that, and I tried them on Friday.
How'd it go?
That went well, but I'm there going, right, I got.
But this is my fear with you, and I've seen you before, Andy, and I've seen you doing your stuff on video, where you write down your stuff.
Yes.
So you're either have that already, or you're doing it in your dressing room. You're doing it. You're thinking quickly about it. Have to be fresh. Has to be fresh. Has to be fresh. But my fear is you're going out there, and the only one thinks it's funny is you.
Yeah.
Probably, and do you know what? That has fucking happened to me.
You're the only one, at that time you write it, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But what about 50, 60 people? I do jokes that are 45 years old. I know they're funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who tells them. If it's me,
if it's
whoever,
you,
they are funny jokes.
They're universal.
They're universal funny jokes.
Yeah.
Like, just a quick, simple one. Like, I had the doctor in my house yesterday. He says, I don't like the look of your wife. I said, you fucking don't. You don't know what the end is. That's what makes a joke funny.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
she said she has a cute angina. I said, I know, tits aren't too bad.
Like, they are iconic.
Do me all that, but you know what? That's common. You go and say that to a pub, fellas falling off the seat.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if they've got a couple of beers in them. I think that says join it.
I know when I walk out on stage, that material is good.
Yeah.
You're confident in your material.
And I know I'm good at the timing because I've had years and years of it. You could say I've been on stage 4,000 times.
Yes.
So you know how the routine, and you know what the laughs are going to be. And that's it. And all them simple jokes. Like, it's a sad day. It's a year ago today I lost my father. I can remember his last words. It was, fuck me a bus.
Yeah.
I like that. That's real. They're classics and they're online.
Classics, and they just, that's life.
That's it. So for anyone listening, if you want to see Kevin perform, he is performing in Columbia Bar on the 30th of May, where we all frequent. Thank you, Ross Brunton.
Friday night.
Friday night, and
I'm actually going to a wedding that day.
Oh, Jesus, right. Yeah,
wow.
So buzz now.
You'll be buzzed.
Well, that's fair.
Good.
That's absolutely fair. But yeah, if anyone wants to see Kevin, he's performing in the Columbia Bar on the 30th of May. And if anybody has any questions, or maybe you guys want to tell your story, reach out to wyfppodcast@gmail.com.
That's it.
And we're the same on Instagram, TikTok, I'm not calling it X, Twitter. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. And it's been good, and we'll definitely have to have you back on.
Yeah, I think they should follow up somewhere.
I think so. We think once.
There's more to tell.
There's more to tell.
I can tell you my life without my parents.
Well, I think it would be interesting to hear now.
I tell you, want to listen about going around hooker men's clubs back in the 1980s.
I'd love to
hear that. Absolutely, we'll definitely have you back, Kevin. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.